Usually when we crack open a new topic for a deep dive, we're looking at, well, a bestseller or maybe a stack of academic papers.
Something in the public record.
Exactly. Stuff that exists. But what we have on the desk today, this feels less like a reading assignment and more like we're handling evidence.
It feels illicit just talking about it. It really does.
We are looking at a manuscript that technically shouldn't exist. It's titled The Digital Savage, Notes from the Information Morgue. And the author, the byline says Hunter S. Thompson.
The father of gonzo journalism himself.
Now here is a kicker. The manuscript is dated roughly around 2004 or 2005. And for context, think about where you were in 2004.
Oh, wow.
Mark Zuckerberg was still in a dorm room. The iPhone was years away. Twitter wasn't even a concept.
There's a completely different geological era of the internet. We were burning CDs.
Exactly. And yet, in these pages, Thompson isn't writing about the Bush administration or the Iraq War, at least not primarily. He lays out with absolutely terrifying accuracy the world we are living in right now.
He predicts social media addiction, the surveillance economy,
and the literal merger of man and machine.
He calls it the American upgrade. And honestly, reading it, it just gives you goosebumps. It reads less like journalism and more like a prophecy that we all ignored.
So our mission today is to take a road trip with Hunter S. Thompson. We're going to follow his investigation from a shady hotel room in Denver through Silicon Valley and all the way to Davos.
To the snowy peaks where the architects reveal the endgame.
And it is a wild ride. It's got drugs, paranoia, deep philosophical horror. But it starts, as his story so often did, with just a hunch.
A feeling that something was wrong with the frequency.
Let's start there. Part 1, the diagnosis. Thompson is holed up in Woody Creek. It's classic Hunter wall-to-wall TVs, watching CNN, Fox, lurking in these weird internet chat rooms.
And he's trying to find the pulse of the American dream.
But he can't find it. He writes that the American dream didn't die with a bang. It died with a buffering symbol.
I love that line.
It's this idea that we stopped living in the moment and started living in the delay. But then he gets a tip. It's an anonymous email with a subject line, "The livestock."
Which is just a great way to ruin your morning coffee.
Right. The email just says, "We aren't already dead. We're being harvested." That paranoia sends him to the Brown Palace Hotel in Denver to meet a whistleblower.
He calls her Sarah, a high-level tech executive who's defected.
And this scene is straight out of a noir thriller. He describes the gold leaf, the stale air. He shows up with his tape recorder, and because he's Hunter S. Thompson, a .357 Magnum strapped to his ankle.
He's expecting a shootout.
But Sarah doesn't have a gun. She has a binder. And what's in that binder is Remember, this is 2004.
Right.
She hands him documents proving that tech companies were hiring neuroscientists, not to cure diseases,
but to engineer addiction.
This is the crucial part. She explains the concept of variable reward schedules.
Okay, let's unpack that.
Because I think we hear algorithm today and just, glaze over.
It's just a word. But she breaks it down biologically. It's the Skinner box. It's a slot machine.
Right. If you pull a lever and get a prize every time, you get bored.
And if you never get a prize, you just give up.
But if you get a prize sometimes, and you can't predict when, your brain goes haywire. It floods with dopamine in anticipation.
And Sarah tells him they were baking this into the code, the refresh button.
That's the lever.
Exactly. Maybe you have an email, maybe you have a friend request, maybe nothing. You don't know, so you keep pulling.
And she tells him they are weaponizing uncertainty to damage adolescent mental health. For profit.
And Thompson, he's just trying to wrap his head around this. He asks, why? What's the product?
And Sarah just drops the hammer. She says, if you aren't paying for it, you're not the customer, you're the product.
Wow.
She said her colleagues used to joke about users as attention mines, that they viewed human consciousness as a resource to be extracted.
Mined, processed, and sold.
To bring this all home, Thompson shifts focus to a guy named Jerry in Ohio. This isn't a statistic. It's a tragedy.
Right. Jerry lost his manufacturing job, his wife left him, he's totally isolated. But he's found a new home online.
14 hours a day in conspiracy chat rooms.
And Jerry tells Thompson he's finally found the truth. But Thompson sees it differently. He sees an addict.
He's not looking for information. He's looking for that dopamine hit of outrage.
It's the atomization of society. Jerry's been severed from his community and plugged into this feedback loop that just keeps him angry and engaged.
He's a battery powering the machine, and that's just a diagnosis.
You're being harvested.
But Thompson's a journalist. He doesn't just want to know how it works. He wants to know who's driving the bus.
Which brings us to part 2, the infiltration. And this is where the story just goes completely off the rails.
In the best way, Sarah tells him about the Summit, a secret gathering of the tech elite in Woodside, California.
Okay, so how does the most recognizable, chaotic journalist in America get into a secret tech conference?
He invents a persona, Richard Stedman, a venture capitalist. Thompson describes the costume a stiff, ill-fitting Brooks Brothers suit.
That smells like mothballs, right?
Smells like mothballs, giant aviator sunglasses, and his pockets are full of lemons.
Lemons!
He claims they're for scurvy, but he walks right in. He's sweating, shouting buzzwords like synergy and disruption.
And because it's Silicon Valley, nobody even questions him.
They just think he's eccentric old money.
It's just so absurd. Yes. But once he gets into the keynote speech, the comedy stops. Dead. The speaker is a CEO named Jonathan Pierce.
And Pierce isn't talking about faster shipping. He lays out the plan for total integration.
This is a key concept. Pierce distinguishes between opt-in tech and substrate tech.
Right. Opt-in is like a laptop. You have to open it, turn it on, choose to use it.
And Pierce hates that. He says opt-in is a weakness because the user can choose to walk away. His vision is to make technology the substrate of attention itself.
The environment. The air you breathe.
He's talking about smart cities, the Internet of Things, devices listening 204/7, but then he goes a step further.
He brings up neural interfaces.
Brain chips. In 2004, the room goes quiet, and then they start applauding.
And Pierce says, we won't be competing for attention anymore. We'll own it.
That line, we'll own it, it's not about service, it's about ownership of the mind.
Thompson is recording all of this on a tape recorder hidden in his belt buckle.
Yeah.
He knows he's got the story of the century, but then
disaster strikes.
The bathroom scene. This is cinematic gold. He's in the restroom, splashing water on his face, trying to calm down, and 3 executives corner him. They've made him.
It's a terrifying moment. These are the masters of the universe that they start interrogating him. Who are you? Who sent you?
And does Thompson try to talk his way out? Does he use logic?
No.
No. He reaches into his jacket and pulls out a canister of high-grade bear mace.
Of course he does.
He hoses all 3 of them down. He describes the sound of their screams echoing off the Italian marble. Then he kicks open the fire exit and just sprints into the woods.
It's such a contrast. You have these high-tech architects of the future incapacitated by a primitive chemical weapon.
And a 60-year-old journalist scrambling through the brush with a belt full of cassette tapes.
But he gets away. He has the tape. He knows what they want. Total integration. But he needs to see what that actually looks like.
He needs a victim.
That leads us to part 3, the deep dive into neural interfaces. A source tips him off about a company in San Diego called Neuralink Solutions.
And just to be clear for the legal team, no relation to any modern companies. This is a fictional 2005 manuscript.
Right. But in the text, Thompson tracks down a test subject named David Chen.
Yeah, you expect David Chen to be some cyberpunk hacker or, a drifter. But he's not. He's a lawyer.
A regular, ambitious guy who volunteered for cognitive enhancement. He wanted to be smarter. He thought he was buying an advantage.
Instead, he bought a nightmare. When Thompson interviews him, Chen is in a basement with foil over the windows. He says the interface, it doesn't turn off.
This is the real horror. It's not that the chip failed. It's that it's working too well. Chen describes getting pop-ups directly in his consciousness.
Imagine that. You're trying to sleep, and suddenly a high-def ad for a car flashes on your visual cortex. You can't blink it away.
Because it's behind your eyelids. But it gets worse. He explains the feedback loop. The interface monitors his biological response, his heart rate, his pupil dilation.
So it knows if the ad worked, it learns.
It learns. If a political ad makes you angry, it shows you more of that to keep you engaged. It's manipulating his behavior in real time, bypassing his conscious mind.
And Thompson asks the obvious question, where is this data going?
And Chen shows him the data isn't just going to the biotech company. It's being routed to servers owned by the Department of Defense.
That is the moment the floor just drops out. It's not just greed, it's state surveillance.
It's the ultimate partnership. Corporations get the profit, and the state gets a domesticated population. If you can nudge thoughts at the neural level, you don't need propaganda posters.
You control reality from the inside out. This sends Thompson running again. He realizes this is bigger than Silicon Valley.
He needs to find the head of the snake. And the trail leads him to the final boss. Part 4, the philosophy. He travels to Davos.
The snowy fortress of the elite. Thompson hates it immediately. He says the air smells like money and frozen indifference.
But he gets to sit down with the antagonist of the story, Dr. Eleanor Vance.
And Vance is the head of the Prometheus Initiative. And here's what's so compelling. She's not a cartoon villain. She pours him tea and explains exactly why they're doing this.
And her argument is terrifyingly logical. She frames it as enhancement versus extinction.
Exactly. She tells Thompson to look at the data. Climate change, AI, resource depletion. She argues that biological humanity is obsolete. We can't survive the next century as we are.
So she sees the neural lace, the connectivity, not as a cage,
But as a lifeboat.
yes. She argues that we have to merge with the machines to stay relevant. If we don't upgrade, we'll be wiped out.
Thompson pushes back. He talks about freedom, the human soul, privacy, and Vance hits him with a phrase that I think explains the last 20 years perfectly. She calls it
Economic coercion disguised as freedom.
That's the key to the whole trap. She tells him, Hunter, we aren't going to force anyone to get the chip. We don't have to.
She says the market will do it for them.
Think about it. If your colleague gets the upgrade and can work 10 times faster than you, who gets the promotion? If insurance is 50% cheaper for the integrated, can you afford to say no?
It's the ultimate FOMO, fear of missing out on survival. She basically tells him, you can be a free, obsolete human in poverty or an integrated, surviving cyborg.
Choose.
It forces you to realize the cage isn't being built by tyrants. It's being built by, well, necessity.
Which leads to the saddest part of the manuscript. Part 5, the volunteers. Thompson leaves Davos and talks to the people on the ground.
He interviews Marcus and Jennifer, early adopters. Marcus is a coder who got the implant.
And he's not a zombie. He's successful. His productivity's up 40%. He's crushing it, paying his mortgage. He's winning.
But then he talks about dinner time. He's sitting with his 6-year-old daughter. He's looking at her face, but in his peripheral vision, he's clearing his inbox.
He admits that he literally cannot be present anymore. He's monetized every second of his consciousness.
And Jennifer.
She had genetic mods done. She says she did it because she was terrified her son would be left behind. She says, I don't want him to be the slow kid in a world of supercomputers.
It's the tragedy of the commons. We all make the rational choice to be a little more efficient, a little faster.
And collectively, we build a prison where being naturally human is a handicap.
It's a race to the bottom of what it means to be a person.
So we're at the end. Thompson has seen it all. How does the story end? Does he, start a revolution?
You want him to, but Thompson is a realist. In the outro, he does the only thing he can do. He publishes.
He releases The Digital Savage, parts 1, 2, and 3. He dumps all the audio, the logs, the interviews.
And the world explodes, right?
For a news cycle, there are headlines, tech giant spying on brains. There's outrage. But then, the weekend comes.
And apathy sets in.
Worse than apathy. Acceptance. The tech companies settle the lawsuits. The stock prices dip, then soar to new highs. Because people realize Vance was right.
They feel they need the tools to survive. The convenience outweighs the horror.
That is just bleak. The bad guys win because we let them.
But Thompson doesn't end on total defeat. He retreats to Woody Creek, calls himself a relic. But in the epilogue, he offers one final thought. A strategy.
He calls it refusing to be better.
Yes.
That sounds counterintuitive. We're always told be better, faster, stronger.
But in a system designed to strip mine your attention, efficiency is the enemy. Thompson argues the final radical act is to remain inefficient, private, and catastrophically human.
Catastrophically human. I love that phrase. What does that even look like?
It means embracing the mess, accepting you'll be slower than the algorithm. It means valuing privacy over convenience, even when it's harder.
It means refusing to optimize yourself.
Exactly. If they want you to be a predictable product, the only way to rebel is to be unpredictable, to be glitchy.
To be human. Reading this, it feels like Thompson put a message in a bottle 20 years ago, and it just washed up on our shore.
And looking around now, it feels like the water is already up to our necks.
It really challenges us to look at that choice Eleanor Vance offered. We all like to think we'd choose freedom. Give me liberty or give me death.
But when the choice is get the upgrade or lose your livelihood.
That's where the rubber meets the road. It's easy to be a rebel in theory. It's hard when the rent is due.
And that is the terrifying brilliance of The Digital Savage. It doesn't give us an easy answer. It just shows us the cost of the path we're on.
And asks us if we have the guts to step off it.
Indeed.
Well, on that cheerful note, I think I'm going to go turn my phone off. Maybe. Find a typewriter.
Good luck with that. Stay catastrophically human, everyone.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you next time.